Okay, so tonight's presentation is all about gut health. So on Facebook earlier, I posted what does immune health, disease prevention, and weight management all have in common? And the answer is gut health. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight, and different lifestyle behaviors and foods you can incorporate to improve your gut health over the long run. So your GI tract is a long road. You can think of it as a muscular tube. It's about 30 feet long, and it runs all the way from your mouth to your bum. It's common to run into a few bumps in the road, especially when you're sick and experiencing some uncomfortable symptoms. So today we'll talk about what you can do to keep your gut, or this road, healthy. There's a lot of responsibilities that the gut takes on. The primary purpose is to break down the food that you eat into usable nutrients as well as energy. Another interesting fact is that 70% of your immune system lies in your gut. Gut bacteria help your immune system T cells develop, and they also help your body fight off potential pathogens that could make you sick. So in order to strengthen our immune system, it's really important for us to keep our guts happy and healthy. So it's a very complex ecosystem, and the body contains trillions of microorganisms, outnumbering human cells 10 to 1. So you're really more microbe than you are human, believe it or not. Microorganisms make up about 1 to 3% of the body's mass. So for example, someone that weighs 200 pounds, the microbes in their body would weigh 2 to 6 pounds. That's quite a bit. So microbes definitely belong in the body, and they have lots of different important roles. You can think of it as a symbiotic relationship. So we give the bacteria a place to live, and they help keep us alive and kicking. They help us digest our food. They extract vitamins from our food and synthesize others in our colon. And they help produce anti-inflammatory compounds and certain chemicals that help fight off harmful bacteria that could make us sick. So just like all snowflakes are different, everyone's microbiota, or the makeup of the bacteria in their gut, is also unique. The main factors that affect our microbial mix include the following things here: age, what we eat, environment, genes, and medications, especially antibiotics. So they help get rid of the harmful bacteria, but they also get rid of some of the good bacteria as well. A Western diet that is low in fiber and high in fat, and also high in refined carbohydrates like white breads, white sugars, can negatively influence the balance of our gut microbes. So diet is considered one of the most influential factors that shape our microbial metabolism. All right, so let's take a look at the microbiome and disease. So we know that diversity of microbes is important. There's many different bacteria needed for a healthy microbiome. Just like we need lots of different foods in our diet to stay healthy, we need lots of different bacteria to do the same thing. So researchers have found associations between dysbiosis and the gut microbiota. So some common symptoms you might see, or diseases, would include autoimmune disorders. So this could be diabetes, fibromyalgia, allergies, asthma, mood and brain disorders. So think depression and anxiety, skin diseases like eczema or psoriasis, cancer, heart disease, obesity, and various diseases of our GI tract, like IBS. So there are two main types. There's functional and motility disorders. So there's a little bit of information that go into more detail about this in the handout that Brittany shared to the Facebook page. But these two disorders are the most common, affecting 1 in 4 people. Functional disorders involve the gut-brain interaction, so how sensitive the gut reacts. So we won't spend a lot of time on the different types because there really are quite a few, and a lot of the symptoms overlap. But there's more information on pages 2 and 3 of the handout, and there's also a matching game, so you can test your knowledge to see how much you know about GI disorders. Try to make it fun. But again, because the symptoms overlap, it's really important if you are experiencing any GI upset to keep really good detailed notes of your symptoms when they occur, possible irritators, like certain foods that cause more issues than others. So then you can take that to your doctor so they can help identify what is going on. And it might take, several months to years for them to actually identify what the problem is.
Wow.
Which can be stressful. And we know stress impacts GI issues, causes more stress. So we'll talk more about like relaxation techniques later, but just being patient and keeping good notes is probably the most, the best advice I have there. Let's take a look at some lifestyle behaviors or factors for gut health. So number one is our nutrition. So we're going to focus primarily on prebiotics, probiotics, and fiber. And I'm trying to advance the slide. There we go. Okay, I'm going to try to play this video. It's real quick, but it's a really good overview of the health benefits of probiotics. Come on, where's my mouse? There we go. Can you hear that?
The health benefits of probiotics are actively under investigation. There's still much we need to learn. But let's look at what we know so far. Probiotics are commonly associated with 2 main health targets: digestive health and immune health. Certain probiotics have been shown to improve some everyday digestive symptoms, such as occasional constipation, diarrhea, or bloating. Other probiotics can keep harmful microorganisms in check, aid in the digestion of lactose, and help reduce antibiotic-associated diarrhea. Antibiotics kill both the bad and the good bacteria in your gut, so doctors may recommend probiotics after antibiotics in order to help support the recovery of your digestive tract. Some probiotics may help reduce recurrences of vaginal infections, and others may improve heart health by reducing cholesterol. Infants may experience specific benefits from probiotics. The introduced good bacteria can help reduce crying time and symptoms in babies with colic, may help prevent eczema in infants, may help treat acute pediatric diarrhea, and may prevent a serious medical condition called necrotizing enterocolitis in preterm infants. Scientists are currently exploring other potential ways probiotics benefit our health. Preliminary studies suggest that some probiotics may improve psychological symptoms, such as anxiety and depression. This may be achieved through the gut-brain connection, which links the activities of our gut microbiota with our psychological health. But remember, we're still at a fairly early stage in this research. In the future, we hope to better understand if probiotics can prevent or repair disturbances to your colonizing microbiota, an exciting strategy to help alleviate problems that a disrupted microbiota might cause. Not all probiotics are the same, and no one probiotic strain or combination of strains will have all the effects described here. When choosing a probiotic, look for one that has been studied for the specific health benefits you need. Ask your healthcare provider for probiotic recommendations based on your specific health needs. Please refer to isapscience.org for additional information, or ask your doctor or healthcare provider.
All right. What do you think of that video?
Some information, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice overview of what we know so far about probiotics, and knowing that, we're mostly bacteria compared to our human cells. It's not hard to believe that our gut and the health of our gut has such a huge impact on other systems in our body, our mood, our skin, our, anything to do basically with our physical health and mental health. So it's really fascinating. So let's go on here. Oops, a little too far. Okay, so this one is on prebiotics. So we just heard about probiotics, which are the bacteria that confer health benefits. Prebiotics, you can think of this as breakfast, lunch, and dinner for probiotics. So it's the food that the bacteria eats. It's their preferred fuel source, basically. So it's just non-digestible food components in certain types of foods. So these foods listed here are really good prebiotics that can help generate and help maintain the health of the probiotics that are already in your gut. So onions, leeks, garlics, these are really good to cook with. They're very aromatic, so they add a lot of flavor to food. So I use these quite a bit. Bananas, I try to have these a few times a week in my smoothies. I don't actually like room temperature bananas, but I like to freeze them and add them to smoothies to give it a nice creamy texture. And of course, your whole grains. So again, just an overview of probiotics. Anything that has been fermented usually has probiotics unless it receives a heat treatment. So if you think about shelf-stable sauerkraut or pickles, so those foods have been canned, so that heat treatment is going to kill off any potential probiotics that were there at the beginning. If you find fresh sauerkraut at the grocery store in the refrigerator section, or if you make your own sauerkraut at home, these foods will likely have probiotics in them. Other things that you can find or make at home would include yogurts, milk kefir, sometimes called kefir, water kefir. So milk kefir, which I have right here, it is, if you can see that, it might be backwards on your screen, I don't know. It's basically a drinkable yogurt. So it tastes like yogurt, but it's a little more thin. So I like to put this in my smoothies. Sometimes I'll pour it over a bowl of oatmeal in the morning for some extra bacteria there, helpful bacteria. Some cheeses will contain probiotics. You want to look for raw, non-pasteurized. Miso, this is a fermented soybean paste. So if you've ever had miso soup, that paste that they stir in is what gives it its really good umami flavor or savory flavor. There's lots of different brands of kombucha in the store. I see these all over. I've seen a lot of gas stations starting to carry kombucha as well. This is just a fermented tea, lots of fun flavors. You can make this at home, but if you start making it, just know you're going to have a lot of kombucha on your hands, and you're going to want to find some friends to share it with, because it's a continuous process. You'll always have kombucha. And then there's a lot of other fermented foods as well. Some fermented foods like coffee and chocolate, sourdough bread, these have the delicious fermented flavors, like the nice sour tanginess sometimes, but you won't find any probiotics because, again, of that heat treatment. All right, so let's briefly talk about supplements. The video did cover supplements, but it's just a good idea to talk to your doctor probably before you start taking any kind of probiotic supplement, just because a lot of supplements might have certain strains. They may not have a good diverse range like you would find in food. So they're starting to find out that certain strains have different effects on certain parts of the GI. So unless you know exactly what your GI problem is, you know what strain you need, it's probably best just to get your probiotics from a food source rather than from supplement form. All right, fiber, one of my favorite things to talk about because it has so many health benefits, and really only 5% of the US population gets enough fiber a day. And generally that's around like 12 to 15 grams. So we'll talk more about grams in a little bit, but fiber has a lot of different uses. It helps reduce blood glucose and blood cholesterol. So this is good news when reducing our risk for type 2 diabetes and heart disease. It also maintains a proper bowel function. So this can help reduce our risk of some cancers. And it can also help reduce your constipation, diverticulosis, and any hemorrhoids. There's two types of fiber. You probably know there's soluble and insoluble. Most fruits and vegetables will contain a mix of both. Some foods that are extra high in soluble include your oats, lentils, beans, and insoluble, you will find this in a lot of higher in vegetables and your whole wheat foods. So this is some new research I wanted to share from the University of Illinois. They did a study and they showed that eating avocado as part of your daily diet can help improve your gut health. The researchers in charge of the study found that the people that ate avocado every day had a greater abundance of gut microbes that support health. So those microbes are producing byproducts that have an impact on health. And they also had a greater microbial diversity in their GI tract compared to the people that were not eating avocado every day. So I'm a huge fan of avocado. I usually have some. I try to eat a little bit, maybe not every single day, but probably 3 to 4 days a week. I will eat avocado in something. I like to put it in my smoothies. Sometimes I'll just get a piece of bread, put a little avocado on there. Has lots of different uses, and it's, you know, a dip, right? Guacamole. Everybody loves guacamole.
Yeah.
So try to get more avocado if you can. Sometimes it's more expensive than others, but you can find some good deals. So thinking about how many grams of fiber you need a day. So find, you know, your gender there and your age, and think, okay, am I getting this amount? If you're someone who doesn't really like fruits and vegetables or whole grains, there's a good chance you're not getting enough fiber. So if there's one thing out of all of my classes, you know, all of my chronic disease classes, digestive health, if there's one thing I want people to remember is to try to get more fiber in their diets. So for me, I should be getting at least 21 grams a day. And it doesn't sound like very much, but you know, when you think about a serving of fruits and vegetables, you may be only getting 4 or 5 grams of fiber. So if you're not getting all of your recommendations there, your 5 servings a day, you may not be getting enough fiber. Again, you can get it from your whole wheat breads, avocado, which has fiber as well as heart healthy fats, nuts and seeds, and of course, beans and lentils are extremely high in fiber. I think a half a cup of beans has 8 grams of fiber in it. So beans are a great option for that soluble fiber. All right, what else? So we talked a lot about food and certain foods you can include to help improve your gut health, to help feed those little microbes that are living in there. So one of those things is relaxation. So we know that relaxation can assist in managing functional GI disorders. There's been a lot of research on this. So it's really about, you know, finding the type of relaxation activity that you enjoy the most. For me, I like to do yoga. I try to stretch, you know, at night before I go to bed. I like to go on walks and exercise. I've been doing a lot of walking videos since I can't get outside during the winter, and those have been a real lifesaver for me just because I'm working from home, so I'm not out walking around. So I try to incorporate one walking video every day. And then also there's an app I like called Insight Timer. I don't know if you've heard of that, but it's a meditation app. It's free. You can do a timed meditation. So you just set a timer or you can find, you know, a guided meditation. They have hundreds of different meditations on there. So let's say one day you wake up and you're not feeling very motivated, or you're a little sluggish. You can find a meditation for like a morning energy boosting meditation, and it's guided. They have some amazing instructors from all over the world. You set up an account, again, it's free. And it's just a great way to connect with others that are meditating. And there's other meditation apps out there, but that's the one I'm most familiar with. And you all know physical activity, how important that is. I'm sure Brittany talks about that all the time. So she could probably, you know, go into great detail about all of the health benefits of physical activity. And with it being Heart Health Month, you know, she's really probably pushing it a lot more for its heart health benefits. But just thinking about physical activity, it can help improve your gut health. But certain activities might cause some symptoms in people that have GI health issues. So it's just good to know where you're at, what your needs are, listen to your body. Jarring effects, like when you're running and there's impact, that appears to have more reflux episodes in individuals than lower impact exercises like cycling. So if you're someone who's prone to acid reflux, and you experience episodes after running, maybe you think it's due to something else, it could be that jarring motion. So maybe cycling would be better. So just listen to your body and just do what works for you and what you feel comfortable doing. Sleep is another big factor when it comes to gut health. So we want to get enough sleep, you know, at least 7 hours. I think the recommendation is 7 to 9 hours for best results. So getting enough sleep can help reduce our stress throughout the day, and it helps our brains and our bodies repair during the night. They've also found that our guts and our microbiome has its own circadian rhythm, like we have our sleep-wake cycles. Our gut has its own. So if you have a disruption in your gut health, what do you think is going to happen to your sleep and your mental state? It is going to be all out of whack. So making sure you're getting all the right foods, you're setting a routine at night. Some really good tips would be to limit screen time right before bed. 60 minutes is a really good recommendation. So no phones, no TV, all that blue light will affect your circadian rhythm. It's recommended to sleep in a cooler, dark room. I used to have an apartment where I had a street lamp, like a street light, like right outside my window. And I didn't really notice its effect on my sleep until I got a blackout curtain. And once I did that, I felt so much better in the mornings just from blocking out all of that light. I'm not eating 2 to 3 hours before bed, especially if you are prone to acid reflux at night, and laying off the heavy, like the high fat foods at night will be a huge help there. And getting plenty of physical activity during the daytime and not too late at night. And then mindful eating. I might have talked about this in the past. This is just an approach to eating. It's just about slowing down and really savoring each bite, and then paying attention to your hunger cues. So you want to, start when you're actually hungry, not just when something sounds good or looks good, and stopping when you're satisfied but not too full. And again, savoring each bite so you can enjoy the process. For me, it helps when I don't have a lot of distractions in the background. Like, I shouldn't be watching TV, because if I do, I'm probably going to end up eating a lot more food than I probably need to. So putting it all together, just to summarize, everybody's microbiome is different, like all snowflakes are different. So it's important to listen to your body, pay attention to symptoms. If you think something's not right, start keeping track, and then talk to your doctor when you see him or her. Focus on the foods that are going to, feed those living microbes in your gut. So that's prebiotics, probiotics, getting more fermented foods, and of course, increasing the amount of fiber if you're not reaching that recommendation. And then focusing on other behaviors that can help reduce stress and keep your GI tract in a healthy state. So for example, I talked a little bit about fermentation before we began today, but one easy fermentation recipe you can do at home is, it's called fermented honey garlic. So if you don't like garlic, you probably won't like this. It's very garlicky.
Love garlic.
You like garlic?
Oh yeah.
So all you need is some raw garlic. I got this at the farmer's market. And you need some raw honey. So I started this in the fall, early fall, and I filled it about a third of the way full with the raw garlic. I took the skins off. I lightly crushed them a little bit. You don't have to mince them or anything. And then you fill it about 2/3 to 3/4 up with garlic. I've used some of it already. You just fill it up, make sure the garlic is submerged. And this is a special lid I purchased. It's silicone and it has kind of like this little like squeeze top at the top. So what happens is, as CO2 gets produced in here during the fermentation process, it's allowed to escape through this top area, but no oxygen is able to get in. And I let this sit on my counter for 3 to 4 months. So it fermented for quite a while. So then by the end of that time, you have a really nice probiotic rich honey garlic that you can use. I like to drizzle the honey on pizza. So if I'm going to make some homemade pizza, I'll drizzle this on top. Or if I have some fresh bread, I'll put a little goat cheese on there with a little of this honey. It's really, really good for a nice appetizer or a little snack. And then you can also use the garlic as well. You can mince it up and put it in recipes or however you like to use garlic. So it's a really easy thing. You only need 2 ingredients. But there's lots of other fermentation recipes like that you can try. Some take a few days, some take weeks, months. It just depends. But I think that would be a really fun class to do in the future if we're able to get back together again. So let Brittany know if you're interested in doing that and we can get something set up. But that is all I had for the presentation on gut health. Did you have any questions or anything for me, or?
You're seeing a lot of them.
It's all on you, Kathy. What you got?
Said deaf Brittany would love to do something.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, it'll be nice because we're supposed to have like that built-in kitchenette there at the Y. That's, I think, one of the last things they'll be putting in, but that'll be fun.
Yes, definitely. And I see a chat here. Yeah, Brittany said she would love to do something like that. So I think that'd be cool. So yeah, thanks for tuning in tonight. And
Okay.
I'll make sure I get this recording saved, and we'll get it shared to Facebook. So if other people want to tune in later, they can do that. And if you have questions or anything in the future about probiotics or fermented foods or anything like that, just shoot me an email or let Brett know.
Yeah, I spotted that where it said it's not recommended to take them in a pill form. You stick with the food type.
Yeah, I think there's always, a time and a place for supplements, and like all supplements, they're not regulated by the FDA. So what it says on the label may not actually be in there or to that quantity. So the more we learn about probiotics, the better the recommendations might be in terms of what supplements are going to benefit certain GI disorders, but I don't know if we're really there yet. So you could talk to your doctor. There's a good chance your doctor may not really know very much about it, just not a lot of research about it. So I always like to, recommend the food sources if possible for those. You're going to get a lot more diversity. And actually your fermented dairy, like your yogurt, your milk, kefir, those things, these are going to have, from the research I've seen, these have the most diverse range of bacteria compared to other fermented foods you'll find in the store. So just a little fun fact.
Okay.
All right. Well, it was good to see you, Kathy and Brittany, and I hope other people get to tune in, but I really appreciate you having me on, and
thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your week and stay warm.
Okay.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.